Hey, Dan. So Manny told us you guys kind of have a plan as far as the quarterback competition this week. What are you going to be sort of looking for to ultimately determine the guy in your ass?
Yeah, I really don't think there's one specific thing, but kind of a lot of things put together. But I think one of the things is the preparation that needs to go into it to each and every week to be prepared to play to help our team win. So I think from a preparation standpoint, that's going to be really important. You know, the guys that have put in the work early in the week and, you know, understand our game plan, understand the defensive structure we're going against on first and second down early in the week, and as we move to third down and red zone. So we want to see a guy that's going to be very prepared. We want to see a guy that during practice is very efficient, that is playing fast, that is not only getting themselves to play better, but also trying to bring guys along with them to play better. We want to see guys encouraging teammates, coaching teammates on some detailed things, and just, you know, kind of we'll get an overall feel for who's practicing the best and who's prepared and who's got a great attitude and who's got good body language and who we think ultimately by the end of the week gives us the best chance to win the game.
Dan, Mark Jones mentioned on the ESPN broadcast that you had mentioned to him that you've had to leave Brevin in sometimes for pass blocking, and maybe that's impacted how many targets he's gotten, even though he's gotten a good number. How much has that impacted how much you would ideally like to throw to him? And with Mallory, I know you've tried to get him the ball. What's been the missing thing there?
Yeah, with Will, I think it's just kind of been just a little bit of bad luck, to be honest with you. We've had him open a few times, and we're unable to get it to him. Maybe an errant throw, maybe a protection issue. But we have a lot of confidence in Will Mallory to be a very good player here. Again, he's a very young player. I think he's continuing to develop. You know, coming off a bad injury and stuff, and he's a really good player. He does a great job preparing every week, and I think, you know, there'll be a game, I think, before it's all said and done, where we'll be like, oh, wow, that was Will Mallory's breakout game. I think that will happen at some point. So we're very happy with his progress. And yeah, I would agree with that assessment. I would like to get Brevin out on every route structure, but to be quite honest with you, the way the games have gone, our defense is playing so well. We're in games. We don't want to, you know, put our guys at risk and with a lot of protection issues, especially on early downs. And Brevin's an outstanding blocker. So again, we're going to continue to use him in the pass game, but he's a guy that's such a good blocker. We'll continue to use him in protection, and as we get going here, we'll use him more and more. You know, just like this past week, we knew this was going to be a difficult challenge playing this defense in this front seven, and they were as advertised. You know, very, very good, and I thought they were very good in the secondary as well. But certainly we want to get Brevin as many opportunities to get open and catch the ball as we can.
Dan, what did you see in Jaron when he got the call in the fourth quarter to enter the game that led to ultimately him leading the game-winning drive?
I've said it before. I said it when Nkosi came in and Virginia Tech. It's tough. I don't think people realize how difficult those circumstances are. But I mean, you want to talk about a guy that was literally cold, like raining and cold, and you know, like really cold, like not just cold, like hadn't played. But I thought he did a tremendous job. I thought he handled it very well. I thought he came in through strikes. You could see that his arm was back. You know, I just thought the way the ball was coming out of his hands was exceptional. Touch, timing, anticipation, and again, I can't stress enough how difficult that was and how proud of him I am that the way he responded and led his team. Very poised throughout that little run that he had. Communicated very well and did a tremendous job. And I can't say enough either, guys, about Nkosi. I'm going to just add that. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that put his team ahead of his own health and is going out there and battled. I mean, this guy is. I can't say enough about Nkosi Perry's toughness, how courageous he is, and how much he cares about this football team. That he would just keep going out there. And here's the great thing. Jaron was cheering for Nkosi during the game, great on the sidelines, and then when we took Nkosi out, I didn't see one pout, not one frown, not one roll of eyes, and then he was encouraging Jaron, and Nkosi was one of the happiest guys in the locker room after the game as well. So I think that speaks a lot of testament to both their character.
Hey, Dan. I remember asking you right before the season started about your experience at Bama last year managing two quarterbacks and how that might, you know, come into play and help you a little bit this year. I know this is not the blueprint, but you know, how are you calling back on some of those experiences that you had, and I mean, I know Jaron didn't come to practice last week one day and things like that. I mean, you're being put to a little bit of a test as a coach. So,
Well, thanks for bringing that up. No, but it's funny you say that because, this is unique. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the experiences in coaching are unique, and you do fall back on experience. And I think back about different places that I've been, but that's the one great thing about, I don't mean to get in on a soapbox here, but one great thing about this business, this profession is you're dealing with human beings like on a daily basis, and every year they're different human beings, you know what I mean? So there's different problems, there's different issues, there's just different things you have to deal with. And I think that's one of the challenges as a coach is being able to adapt. I mean, I've had to adapt play calling, I've had to adapt structure of things we want to do based on our personnel, based on defense personnel, based on how the game's flowing and going, and and that's one of the challenges. But also one of the challenges is adapting to your personnel, who's available, who's not available, quarterbacks. I've said this when I first got here too, and you guys remember that. Developing quarterbacks is physical, it's mental, and it's emotional. There's 3 areas of quarterback development, and those really occur year-round. And this really has been, a challenge as far as dealing with these guys on a day-to-day basis, just with their overall, one day somebody's up, one day somebody's injured, one day, so then the other guy's, the guy that's injured, he's not playing. Jaron, wasn't playing for a while. I'm trying to keep him into it. And then Nkosi wasn't named the starter at the beginning, and he was the starter, last year. And I'm trying to make sure that he's ready to go if his opportunity comes. And the thing is that we have these discussions all the time in the meeting room, and I try to set a culture in the quarterback meeting that it's preparation, it's mindset, it's you never know when it's going to be your turn. And I even tell the young guys it might be your turn at practice one day where you get an opportunity, like Peyton Matoka, we do a thing called Sunday Night Football, and he's in there, you know what I mean, and those are his opportunities. So again, these are unique experiences that we've gone through this year, and it has been challenging, but I think one thing that I'm really proud of is the way that I think our offense has kind of stayed very cohesive. And what I mean by that is, yes, we've had some issues with our, with our performance being, consistent. We haven't had consistency in performance all the time. We've been a little bit like this. But when it's been the time to win the game in the fourth quarter, we've been able to get cohesive and get a group of guys out there that are believing each other and give our football team a chance to win. So, and again, that's a credit to Coach Diaz. That's a credit to our defensive coaches, our defensive players, and again, a credit to our other offensive players where they're like, okay, Nkosi's out here, now Jaron's out here, and those guys are encouraging one another, and they're staying confident, and they know ultimately what we're trying to do is win the game and give our team a chance to win the game. And again, I don't know if I answered your question great, but these are unique experiences and unique challenges, and every day we're just trying to fight through them and do the best we can to give our team a chance to win.
Dan, just want to ask, are you seeing a little bit of improvement on the offensive line here in recent weeks? Oh
yeah, that's a great question, and yes, we are. I've been really, really pleased with the offensive line play, protection-wise. I mean, we were a little loose on some third down things the other day, but we're on the right people, and that blitz structure that they present is very, very challenging. That's why they lead the nation with over 5 sacks a game going into the game. So have our young guys respond the way they did was very good. I think we're being more physical. We're playing harder. Coach Barry is a technician. I mean, this guy. It's technique from the moment he's walked in the door. That's all he does. Pass technique, double teams, everything. And again, you can just see it with these guys and the confidence that they're playing with, and really the intelligence that they're playing with. They're prepared each and every week. And again, we're far from perfect, but you know what? We're going through this process, and we're getting better in a lot of areas, and that's definitely one place we're getting better.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, we know Jeff Thomas is coming back this week. Wondering, coming off the 2-game suspension, does he kind of have to start at the end of the line and work his way back up? And I guess the receiver position, what you thought of their performance against Pitt?
Yeah, I think Jeff will have to come in and earn it, just like any other guy that's missed time, due to what he's missed time for. So, yeah, he's got to, believe me, we'll welcome him back with open arms. But he's going to have to go out and during practice this week and show his teammates that he's ready to play and mentally into it, and is going to help the teams, but he'll be given every opportunity to do that. I thought we were very inconsistent at wide receiver on Saturday. We had some contested catches, and we knew going into the game against the way they play that there was going to be some contested catches, and I think we didn't make enough of those, if you will. Obviously, KJ at the end of the game, he did do that, made a catch in traffic, and obviously broke a tackle, and that was the biggest one we needed. But the reason we weren't able to stay on the field as much, and sustain some of those drives, was that we were just a bit inconsistent there. And a little bit was Nkosi early too. He was off on a throw here, missed a read there, and then when we did make the right throw and read, we had some balls on the ground. So we just got to be more consistent in that area. But I do like the way they're progressing. I like the way D. Wiggins is progressing. He's playing with more confidence and getting better every practice that he gets. Same thing with Mark, and Mike Harley continues to play extremely hard and do some good things. And Marshall Few got in a little bit for a play and a big fourth down play and did a nice job the other day as well. And then obviously, and the Jeremiah Payton, he might be a guy that we end up going to at some point. He's been practicing up with us, and we see a bright future in him as well.
All right, last question.
Dan, we heard Tay Martell rejoin the team for last night's practice. Just what you've seen from him, where he is from a mental standpoint. He's obviously had a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it's again, the room's been a little topsy-turvy, if you will. But Tate was in a good place last night, and we're here to support him. And that's the other thing about college coaching is that these young men are young men, and we're helping them not only become better players, we're obviously trying to help them in all aspects of their life. And certainly it's good to have Tate back. He's a great young man and very talented, but he seemed like he was in a good spot last night. So we'll just continue to work with him as we go through the week. Thank you.